Live from across the Rio Grande Valley, you're watching NBC 23 News Now at 10.
Captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro taken into a federal courthouse in New York City, charged with drug trafficking.
Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial.
The president's opponents are not applauding the move.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague.
A member of the Valley Venezuelan community gives their take.
I hope that all of Venezuela will be completely liberated and that we will no longer have these traumas, having to stand in line for food.
Hear more next on NBC 23 News Now. Hey, good evening, Valley, and welcome to NBC 23 News Now at 10. I'm Frank McCaffrey. Thank you so much for joining us. Happening now, Venezuelan Miguel Hernandez is one of more than 8 million people who fled the country under the Maduro regime. Like many others, he found refuge in the Rio Grande Valley. Now he says he feels a renewed sense of hope, believing the fall of Maduro could bring major political change to Venezuela. Our Jorge Bella has the story. And that was Jorge Bella reporting. Thank you so much, Jorge. An Ed Couch teen is charged with murder after a shooting in Pharr. It happened at a home near Eldora and Sugar Road Saturday night. Police say 18-year-old Emmanuel Flores shot and killed a 45-year-old man. He was charged with murder the following day. He remains behind bars on a $750,000 bond. In other news, a 50-year-old man passed away last night after being struck by a vehicle and succumbing to his injuries at a local hospital. The crash happened at around 7 p.m. in the 1300 North Business 77 area. The driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating with authorities. This case remains under investigation. We'll have the latest details on air and online at valleycentral.com. Harlingen police say with several recent crashes in the valley involving pedestrians, it's important to remember to share the road safely. While on the road, staying alert is key, as distracted driving often plays a major role in auto-pedestrian accidents. It's not only drivers who need to remain distraction-free, pedestrians are encouraged to go headphone-free and keep their eyes on their surroundings, especially once the sun sets. According to TxDOT, 67% of serious or fatal pedestrian crashes in 2024 occurred at night. Those walking in the dark are encouraged to wear bright or reflective colors. No matter the time of day, drivers should slow down near crosswalks and remember that pedestrians have the right of way. Bringing you an update out of McAllen, police say they are looking for the man who they say helped cross a murder suspect into Mexico. 61-year-old Leonel Perez Delgado is accused of driving Reynaldo Mata Rios through a port of entry on December 28th. Mata Rios is wanted for the murder of Mission businessman Eddie Betancourt. He was shot and killed at his office on Ware Road on December 27th. You may remember last week, Governor Greg Abbott called on Mexico's president to help find Mata Rios for Betancourt's death. A chase in Brownsville involving the Texas Department of Public Safety happened just before 2 p.m. According to DPS officials, they were attempting to pull over the driver of a Ford F-150 near Alton Glore for alleged human trafficking. The driver stopped near Bonita Drive in Resaca, where several people ran out. Some were apprehended, but they are still searching for others. This chase comes amid DPS Human Trafficking Month. If you see signs of human trafficking, call 911 immediately to report it, and be ready to give as many details as possible. You can also make a report on iWatch Texas or call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text BeFree to 233-733. Several minors are facing charges for supplying other minors with alcohol during a house party in McAllen. Authorities say the minors were hosting a BYOB party at an Airbnb on 24th Street when officers arrived at around 11 p.m. Authorities say those facing charges range from 14 to 19 years old, while more than 50 citations were issued for possession of alcohol by a minor. All right, moving on here. It's still beautiful outside weather-wise, but not for long. You guessed it, a cool down is coming here in the valley. Here now is Valley Storm Team meteorologist Marcelo Rivera Gonzalez. Thank you so much. For the first time in 26 years, the Weslaco Police Department is fully staffed. 4 cadets from the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council's Academy signed contracts with the department this morning, completely filling the department's vacancies. With the department facing 19 vacancies at one point, Weslaco police say their partnership with the academy was essential for reaching this milestone. The cadets will finish the police academy in March and become probationary police officers before taking on their permanent positions. McAllen City leaders are honoring professional golfer Abraham Answer for his contribution to the future of golf in the Valley. Officials announced the former PGA Tour star and current Live Golf Tour player is upgrading the facilities at Champion Lake Golf Course. Answer, who was born in McAllen and raised in Reynosa before graduating from Sherryland High School, spoke about the importance of giving back to the community he comes from. Answer also says the contribution will go to cultivating the next generation of golfers in the Valley and get them ready for the next level. After NBC 23 News Now at 10, it's an all-new The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon with Sadie Sink and Josh Charles, as well as Kristen Stewart on Late Night with Seth Meyers. Check it out. Coming up on this January 2nd, Hidalgo County officials are wrapping up their holiday campaign against DWI. And Team Brownsville is coming to an end as the flow of border crossings has dropped. We have the latest on where their community efforts are now headed. Plus, a man has finally been arrested in connection to a deadly hit and run in Harlingen. Get ready for your NBC 23 News Now at 10.
Live from across the Rio Grande Valley, you're watching NBC 23 News Now at 10.
Hey, good evening, Valley, and welcome to NBC 23 News Now at 10. I'm Frank McCaffrey. Thank you so much for joining us. In your Valley headlines, we're continuing coverage of a large police presence in San Juan a few hours ago as police officers responded to a situation when a suspect pointed a gun at them. Around 1:30 p.m., police officers received a tip over a domestic dispute in the area near Raul Longoria and Monica in San Juan. Upon arrival, officers heard a disturbance inside. As they tried to get in, they saw a man holding a knife and pointing a shotgun at officers. This led to officers responding as if it was a hostage situation, not knowing if there were more people inside. However, as the hours went by, they determined that the subject was alone and was barricaded. The suspect surrendered around 4:33 p.m. after hours of not being responsive to negotiators. Cifuentes said the subject was responsive when the negotiations began early in the afternoon, but his attitude changed until peacefully surrendering this evening. We also have new details over a murder in Hargill on New Year's Day, as a 23-year-old man is waiting to be formally charged. He's accused of shooting 41-year-old David Adam Garza. According to the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Department, Garza was found in a crashed Toyota Tundra and was involved in a fight a few blocks away. They say the suspect opened fire as Garza drove away. Now, deputies responded to the crash. Garza was found with a gunshot wound and he died at the scene. A man has been charged in connection to the deadly hit-and-run crash that killed a 77-year-old man. 66-year-old Manuel Lopez was charged with collision involving injury or death on Friday. A judge set his bail at $100,000. He's accused of striking 77-year-old Felix Aguilar Torres with his car Monday night and driving away from the scene on Thursday. We told you that police had identified Lopez's vehicle, and at 5 p.m. they found him and arrested him. The case remains under investigation. Governor Greg Abbott is calling for the Mexican government to extradite the man accused of shooting and killing McAllen businessman Eddie Betancourt. The governor's office today released a statement in which he claims the suspect Reynaldo Mata Rios fled into Mexico following the murder. He stated, quote, "Those who harm Texans must not be allowed to flee across the Rio Grande and from there taunt and defy the citizens of Texas. We're currently working to verify if Mata Rios is in custody on the other side of the border. We'll keep you up to date, both on air and online at valleycentral.com. Law enforcement across the valley and around the state are wrapping up their annual holiday no refusal campaign. TxDOT, DPS, and agencies in the 4 counties of the RGV all collaborated to increase drunk driving enforcement from December 12th to January 1st. Officials say the initiative aims to prevent deaths and arrests for DWI while encouraging everyone to find a safe and sober ride home. Now to an update on a story we first told you about last month. As the calendar turned yesterday and we arrived in 2026, Frank Medina arrived back in the Valley. The San Benito alum and scholarship football player for UTRGV came back home after a cancer diagnosis forced him to seek treatment in San Antonio. Our Brian Svensson has the story. And that was our Brian Svensson reporting. Thank you so much, Brian. Guess what? It's Friday night, and that means the weekend is upon us. Will the weather on Saturday and Sunday be as absolutely beautiful as it was today? Here now is Valley Storm Team meteorologist Marcelo Rivera Gonzalez with answers. Well, thank you so much, Marcelo. A Brownsville nonprofit group that has helped migrants has closed its doors, but it's opened another one. Border Report's Sandra Sanchez explains. Thank you so much, Sandra. The new group, Madrinas de Justicia, has a Facebook page, and a link to that can be found at borderreport.com. Hey, this week on Inside Valley Politics, we start off an election year with a look at the important dates and issues for 2026. Healthcare seems to be a major concern of Valley voters as we begin 2026, and the federal government is working to improve healthcare in rural areas.
Our hope is that we all get healthier in America and no longer will allow zip code dictate our life expectancy.
Plus, hear whether the Hidalgo County GOP thinks foreign policy issues will be a priority for voters in the primary season.
Meeting with Zelensky and finding an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine is vital, and it's extremely important. It's something that people voted for back in November.
And Hidalgo County's Democrat Party chair also addresses the primary season this year. Also, hear from Rep. Vicente Gonzalez on what he added to the $900 billion National Defense Authorization Act after a recent case that hit home in the Valley.
I've got some language put in for Angelina Resendez, the young lady who died on a base recently. She was a resident of Harlingen. And the language that I put in is when a service member goes missing, we should begin an investigation immediately.
And Senator Ted Cruz explains what he added to the NDAA. That's this weekend on Inside Valley Politics. All righty. Looks like an interesting show. Now, you can catch Inside Valley Politics. I'm allowed to say that, right? You can catch Inside Valley Politics this weekend at 6:30 a.m. on Sunday and 10:30 a.m. Sunday on MyTV 4.1. A little self-promotion. Also, we have more from NBC 23 on the free Valley Central Plus app. You'll have access to our original shows like Border Report Live, Movie Talk, and Vaqueros Nation Unfiltered. It's Friday, I'm allowed to. You can download it on your Roku, Amazon, Fire TV, or Apple TV right now. For more information about our exciting new app and how you can get it, head on over to valleycentral.com. Stay with us. A Rio Grande City man is dead after shooting himself shortly after midnight. According to DPS, troopers attempted to stop 34-year-old John Acevedo. Alrighty, the weekend is upon us. And that means, well, football. For a look at whether it'll be any cooler than previous football weekends, we turn to Valley Storm Team meteorologist Marcelo.
And it's a really great way to put yourself out there and to build a community of new friends and just make art. It's a really good place.
Actually, if I start singing there, I might lose friends. Okay. Hey, good evening, Valley, and welcome to NBC 23 News Now at 6:30. I'm Frank McCaffrey. Thank you so much for joining us. Happening now, new information tonight on a deadly shooting at a Donna hotel. Court documents revealing what led to the murder of a 29-year-old man and the arrest of a couple now charged with murder. Our Jorge Vela is live in Donna with the latest details. Jorge. Thank you so much, Jorge. Two people are dead after investigators say they overdosed on fentanyl. This happened just before 6:30 on Sunday night at a home on Joel Cardoza Street in Weslaco. The Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office says deputies responded to the call of two people found dead inside the home along with drug-related items. The two people have been identified as 35-year-old Stephen Cardoza and 35-year-old Ana Lilia Juarez. An autopsy was performed and found fentanyl and other drugs in their system. The Sheriff's Office is warning the public to be aware of drug use and urges people to be mindful that illicit substances that may be laced with fentanyl. All right, moving on here. Citywide curbside recycling begins in Brownsville this week. Our Lauren Sierra joins us in the studio now with more details on how this program will work. Lauren? Thank you so much. That was Lauren Sierra reporting. Also making headlines tonight, a new report details the events that led up to a man's death after Brownsville police officers used a stun gun on him during an arrest. According to a custodial death report obtained by Valley Central on Minnesota Avenue last week after a domestic dispute involving a suspect who was, quote, highly intoxicated and delusional and acting, quote, aggressive, out of control, and in possession of a vehicle that was not his. When officers arrived at the home, they found 45-year-old Israel Mendoza holding a makeshift weapon and acting aggressively towards the officers. That's when officers used their stun gun to subdue and handcuff him before he became unresponsive and was taken to the hospital where he later died. For an in-depth full report, you can head over to our website, and that is valleycentral.com. Switching gears here. Are things warming up as we enter a new year? It seems that way. Here now is Valley Storm Team meteorologist Marcelo Rivera Gonzalez with all the answers. Marcelo? Thank you so much, Marcelo. We have a breaking news report out of San Antonio. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office has reported a body has been found near where missing teen Camila Mendoza Olmos was last seen. The sheriffs say the identity of the body has not been confirmed at this time, and we'll bring you the latest on this case on air and on valleycentral.com. In other news, though the World Health Organization declared measles eliminated in 2000 after an outbreak started in West Texas, that status is now in question. There are 2012 confirmed cases in the U.S. as of December 23rd, including 2 child deaths. It's still spreading in parts of the U.S., raising concerns amid lower vaccinations and having to reclassify measles as no longer eliminated. The CDC says if there is sustained transmission for 12 months, that status is revoked. Texas will receive almost $1.5 billion in federal funding over the next 5 years to expand access to health care in rural counties. The money comes from a $50 billion provision in the One Big Beautiful Bill. Texas Health and Human Services will be in charge of those funds. A spokesperson said local governments, rural hospitals, and qualified health care providers can begin applying for grants this spring. One rural healthcare expert we spoke to said the best first step for the state is to invest in the local infrastructure. This year, the state of Texas also set up a grant program to provide financial stability and support to rural hospitals. There's almost $50 million available in that grant program. All right, we're bringing you the latest from Italy, where thousands of athletes from across the globe will be traveling to compete in the 2026 Winter Olympics. Beautiful scene there in Italy. Ciao, Italia. The countdown is on for the Winter Games as we are just over 37 days from the 2026 opening ceremonies. You can catch all the action, plus exclusive content over the athletes and the fashion capital of the world right here on NBC 23.